Today, we're diving into the number one most harmful carbohydrate on the planet. And no, it's not sugar. In fact, this carb spikes your blood sugar much higher than sugar ever could. Yet it's not even classified as a sugar. It's a carbohydrate that triggers blood sugar chaos, insulin resistance, fatty liver, and paves the road toward type 2 diabetes. It promotes stubborn fat around the organs and disrupts your gut microbes, feeding harmful bacteria instead of the good ones. This carb is highly inflammatory. It can irritate your gut, your joints, and even impact your cholesterol level, particularly the small, dense LDL particles that damage the arteries badly. What's worse? If everywhere, it's marketed as zero sugar, but it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. You can buy it for pennies, about 20 cents per pound, because it's heavily subsidized, meaning taxpayers unwillingly help keep it cheap. Anyone can buy a bucket of it with ease. 25 pounds for just $5. That's how much of this refined carb is produced and consumed daily without us realizing it. Now, what's its real purpose? Not nutrition, not health. It's simply a filler used to bulk up processed foods and save manufacturers money. The average person eats between 65 and 250 pounds of this carb every single year. That adds up to more than 20 billion pounds made each year, mostly ending up in things like gluten-free snacks, baby formula, baked goods, and sports products. Can you guess what this mystery carb is? It's not sugar. It's industrial starch. Modified food starch, cornstarch, maltodextrin, all part of the same problem. So what is starch, really? Think of it as a long chain of sugar molecules linked together. When it's natural, like the starch, say potatoes or vegetables, your body digests it slowly. But when it's industrial starch, it's been stripped, refined, and chemically altered. That processing weakens the bonds between sugars, making it break down into glucose almost instantly when you eat it. So instead of getting your lasting energy, it causes a blood sugar spike even higher in pure glucose. We're not talking about your grandma's mashed potatoes. We're talking about white, refined, lead-treated powder. This stuff is ground so fine, often bleached, and cannot be modified until your body treats it like instant sugar. If you've ever chewed a piece of bread long enough to taste it getting sweet, and that's the starch breaking down into sugar. But with modified starch, that process happens immediately once it hits your saliva or stomach. Now, here's the part few people realize. To make this industrial starch, manufacturers use a cocktail of chemicals. One of them is sodium triphtylostate, linked to kidney stress, vascular calcification, and bone demineralization. Another is vinyl acetate, a compound considered a possible human carcinogen. Then there's sodium hypochlorite. Yes, that's bleach. It's used to whiten and purify the starch, even though overexposure can harm your kidneys and dental enamel. And yet, all these additives are self-regulated under something called GRAS, generally recognized as safe despite minimal long-term testing. So the question becomes, how can something be called safe when we don't even know its long-term effects on the body? It's no wonder chronic diseases are rising when we're consuming invisible starches in nearly every processed product. If you look at a label that says 16 grams of carbs, 1 gram of fiber, and 0 grams of sugar, what's the rest? That's the hidden starch, the part not listed directly, but doing most of the serious damage. They're highly processed, stripped of nutrients, and converted to sugar in your bloodstream almost instantly. These constant sugar surges push your insulin to its limits, leading to resistance and fatty liver disease. During digestion, starches form aldehydes, the same chemical used for preserving biological tissue. Another byproduct leaves hangover toxins, leaving your liver under constant chemical stress each day. Imagine that happening 3 times a day, slowly exhausting your organs without you realizing it. When these starches mix with seed oils and heat, they create a dangerous cocktail of oxidized fats. That combination damages cell walls, accelerates aging, and inflames your arteries and digestive system. Most processed snacks rely on this trio: refined starch, sugar, and unstable industrial oils. Chips, crackers, breads, and breakfast cereals all share the same toxic foundation. Potato chips contain roughly 65% starch and 30% inflammatory seed oil. Crackers are around 70% starch, with oils that extend shelf life but harm your health. Even so-called healthy cereals can be 8% starch sprayed with synthetic vitamins. Your daily bread may be three-quarter starch and laced with industrial seed oils for texture. We've been taught to fear sugar, but refined starch quietly causes even more internal damage. Natural starches from whole foods digest slowly, while industrial starch floods your bloodstream. Instant potato flakes and processed mixes no longer resemble real food from the earth. Your body recognizes the difference immediately, even when the label and taste suggest otherwise. You'll find modified starch hidden in sauces, gravies, protein bars, and even children's snacks. Hot dogs and deli meats often use it as filler, adding bulk but offering zero nutrition. Real food repairs and energizes you. Fillers like this only weigh the body down over time. Yet loose labeling laws still allow companies to call these chemical additives food. Ultra-processed foods now make up more than half the average person's daily calories. And most of that comes from starches and seed oils disguised as convenient ingredients. Check the labels next time you shop, but you'll start noticing starch hidden in almost every category, from soups to snacks. It's packed into frozen meals, sauces, and even flavored drinks that appear innocent but slowly sabotage your health. Once you become aware of how widespread it is, choosing better alternatives becomes far simpler and more empowering. Now that we've exposed industrial starch, let's explore how it impacts your energy, weight, and long-term vitality. Each bite of refined starch and oil fuels inflammation, drains energy, and leaves you hungrier instead of nourished. That's why so many adults feel tired, gain stubborn belly fat, and experience constant sugar crashes throughout the day. Even snacks labeled gluten-free, organic, or plant-based often hide huge amounts of refined starch. Organic doesn't always equal healthy, but it's the ingredient list that tells the truth about what's really inside. Look for maltodextrin, modified starch, or tapioca starch, and these are red flags for hidden refined carbs. Such fillers give the illusion of fullness while depriving your body of true nourishment and essential fiber. Many zero-sugar products still cause blood sugar spikes because refined starch acts just like sugar once digested. Over time, this leads to insulin resistance, liver strain, and even early cognitive decline or brain fog. Your metabolism slows, your energy drops, and inflammation begins to dominate your body's daily functions. Refined starch converts to sugar even faster than table sugar, shocking your system with every meal. When heated with oils, it produces toxins that damage your gut lining and inflame arteries over time. This deadly combination accelerates aging, weakens immunity, and degrades tissues from the inside out. To protect yourself, begin by reading labels carefully and cutting back on ultra-processed foods. Replace them with natural carbs from sweet potatoes, fruits, beans, and vegetables that feed your cells real energy. Even small daily swaps, like choosing real food over instant mixes, can reduce inflammation dramatically. Refined starch truly earns its name as the most dangerous carbohydrate in modern diets. It's cheap, addictive, and hidden in almost every shelf-stable product you see in stores today. But once you recognize and reduce it, you'll quickly notice better energy, digestion, and focus. Real food never needs chemicals or tricks. Nature already designed it for perfect human health. Today, we've exposed the truth about refined starch, but in the next video, we'll reveal its toxic partner, seed oils. Together, they form a deadly duo responsible for heart disease, obesity, fatigue, and memory loss. Stay tuned to Senior's Health Guide to learn how to protect your body naturally and live vibrantly at any age. Eat real, stay aware, and remember, your health isn't lost with age, it's rebuilt with every mindful choice you make.